Hello, guys. Welcome to Byte-Sized Brief and our special CES coverage. CES is the Consumer Electronics Show down in Las Vegas, where they release new, weird, wacky, and some very cool products. And we're going to start off with the Asus booth, where they showed off a couple new computers and some other things. What do you think, Danny?
Okay, so we got several new things. We have around 3 different mainstream computers and a few of the rogue gaming things. So the first thing is the new ZenBook Duo, and apparently it's redesigned with a seamless hinge and this material called ceruleum, which I recently learned is some weird material that they made that's like a blend of ceramic and aluminum. From what I've heard, it doesn't feel the best, it kind of feels cheap, but I'm not sure. So what do you think about this computer in general?
Yeah, the ZenBook Duo, their Duo line has been very strange because it's changed like 100 times. It was a Duo was just like a flippable computer, and then it was a Duo with like a bottom screen, a keyboard, and then a top screen, and then they made it 2 screens, and then made it a folding screen at one time, but they got rid of the folding screen because no one liked that, and now it's 2 separate screens. It's a bit confusing over the lineup, but I feel like it's a really cool product that I would personally buy if it was affordable, but absolutely not. It is not affordable whatsoever. How much is it? Is it, like 2,000?
I'm not sure, but
Oh,
I think it looks cool. It doesn't look that portable.
1,800.
But I mean, hey, you got your secondary monitor built into your computer. But from what I know, the keyboard doesn't actually attach. It's just like a separate thing. I don't know how I feel about that.
Mm,
I- It's interesting to say the least. One thing I wonder is can you use it like the bottom screen as a digital keyboard or
you can.
something like that? Yeah. And this is the new generation, that's what they were showing off, although it just seems like they have this slightly new design with a hideaway hinge and probably a new chip. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It might be one of the new Intel ones. I'm not sure, which we will talk about those later in the episode. But, yeah, and did you find the price on that, by the way?
Yeah, it was 1,800 to 2,500.
Yeah, that's pretty expensive.
I mean, I would personally buy it if it was affordable, and I loved having 2 screens. 2 screens is what I use, like, every single day. I have my laptop screen on this side and my main monitor right in front, where I can have, like, 3 to 4 things open at once, which is really helpful when I'm trying to get high school done, college done, be distracted with a couple other videos on the side and a bunch of other stuff. And I really see this as a good product, but I don't kinda get it at the same time. It's 2 screens where you could just have 1 laptop and bring a screen with. I mean, I guess it's more portable, I guess, but it's a lot more expensive at the same time.
Yeah, and I don't know, it just kinda look weird, especially because 'cause you're forced to having it on top. I mean, my setup, I have, a monitor which is kind of on top, but it's just bigger, and, I like using 2 monitors, but it honestly kinda depends on what I'm doing, and I'm fine with just using my built-in display, because you can get a laptop with a pretty big display, or you can have a separate monitor. Because I feel like if you're bringing your laptop to, a cafe or something, you're gonna be doing something that doesn't require that big screen. I mean, you might. I mean, I've seen people, bring a whole monitor to a cafe, so
Mhm.
I think it's a cool, interesting design, but then it is also kinda weird and wacky at the same time, so yeah.
Okay, and then they also released, like, new, like, screens, like their ProArt displays. Um, they say it's for field creators, including oh, wait, is this a laptop?
Yes, it is a laptop. I have an image down here. I don't get it. First of all, Asus has so many lines of products, but it's a ProArt and GoPro collaboration. And I'm
What
like,
does that mean?
I know. I was looking at the website and I'm like, I don't see anything GoPro on this. How does that like, what in the world? A GoPro is like the, action camera, but like, what in the world? How is this laptop have anything to do with that? It doesn't look like a GoPro. I don't know why would you want your laptop to look like a GoPro? It's honestly kinda
Oh,
pointless. Like, it's like, what? Like, why? Did they just slap GoPro on it? There's nothing I have yet to find anything that makes it related to GoPro. Like,
okay. Yeah, there's nothing about it that's GoPro. Why? Convertible
like,
display.
is it bundled with
Okay.
some sort of software or like,
It has a hotkey to open the GoPro player with a single press.
oh my goodness, that is so stupid. Because I'm not saying that that's so stupid. Just give it a whole, like, action button that you could just program it to do that. That
Yes, just have a keyboard shortcut like
that
Control BV to open GoPro or something. Why do you have
that
to
is
dedicate?
so stupid. Or they could have a dedicated action button that you could program it to do what you want. I didn't even know that. That is like
Well, I guess we're not buying that one anytime soon. At least I'm not.
well, yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm not the biggest well, I'm not the biggest fan of Windows in general. Anyway,
Okay.
as far as
There also is the
features
new ZenBook A16, which has a Snapdragon X2 Elite, 3K display, over 22 hours of battery life. It's a 16-inch. It's a pretty well-rounded machine. We'll have to see like the pricing and stuff. Oh, it has the Sierra aluminum still, which, like you said, it doesn't sound too strong.
yeah, and so this one is, the Windows ARM chip laptop, and it looks nice. I I mean, it does kinda look cheap, and I saw a reviewer review something similar to this that had that Sarah aluminum, and it didn't really according to this reviewer, it didn't feel that premium, so I don't get the what even is the point with this material, but yeah, it looks like a nice, well-rounded, ARM Windows PC. Personally, I'm not if I were in the market to get a Windows PC, I don't know if I would get an ARM base just because nothing's really optimized yet, like, there's not a lot they're still in the optimization process, kinda like what macOS went through back then, but from what I know, it's not going as well with Windows, I'm not 100% sure on that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's actually working just fine except for video games, because video games and the DirectX 11 and 12 shaders don't really work. So besides video games, it's actually going to pretty okay. Well, for Windows at least.
Yeah, and I've Googled some specs, and apparently the X2 Extreme chip, X2 Elite Extreme chip can get usually performs about the same as a M4 Pro chip from Apple, or slightly more than that. So that's really good performance. So overall, it looks nice. It looks like it's a well-rounded computer. I just don't know about this new aluminum material. And I guess the really only thing to write home about it would be that chip inside of it, but it is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, let's speed through the next few products here. They had the ROG X-Real AR glasses, which X-Real already made their smart glasses. Not really smart glasses, more display glasses. You put them on your face, there's displays in both eyes. That was pretty much it. But they did a partnership with ROG, which has a 240 hertz screen now, which is faster. And that's pretty much it besides a faster screen. They're the X-Real AR glasses.
Yeah. Now, it does have 240 hertz, which is really good, but it is only 1080p. It is a micro OLED, so that's really good, but it is only 1080p. But I don't think they're really doing anything different from a lot of the other smart glasses or AR glasses. It's not smart glasses, but AR glasses that I've seen. It looks nice. but it's not that innovative compared to the stuff we already see. I mean, this technology is innovative, but it's not that innovative from others we've seen.
Mhm. And then they have the other version of the Zephyrus Duo, which is the dual screen, but this one has a GeForce 50 series GPU, which, let me tell you, is very power hungry, so you're not gonna get good battery life out of that, most
And it
likely.
has the Intel Core Ultra 9. I think it's the latest gen that they announced.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, the new Intel chips, which we're gonna talk about later, are actually kind of really impressive. They've redone the structure of how the chips cools itself inside, so they can push a lot more power through without creating heat.
Yeah. And then moving on, the really only other thing they showed off was new monitors, like next gen OLED ones. I saw one that was like a tandem OLED gaming monitor. 120 hertz 4K looks pretty good. Overall,
Expensive.
oh yeah, expensive. But honestly, overall, I feel like there wasn't too much innovative things that came out of Asus. Most of the products look good, but I not really groundbreaking.
Mhm. Well, then, what about LG? They have a brand new LG robot Cloyd Butler. It is a robot that kind of like does jobs like the X1 Real robot does, but it doesn't have like legs. It has like rollers on the bottom. Um, okay.
Yeah,
I
so okay, what and I didn't know this before I made this argument, but apparently LG's goal for this is a quote unquote no labor household. And I'm like, first of all, we already saw a Lenovo laptop that opens for you because you're too lazy to open the lid. And now we're not gonna be doing anything. It's gonna cook for us, it's gonna do, of course, it cannot do all that. We already saw that. What was that one we saw last
X1
year?
was it X1
Yeah, whatever. And
or
actually,
N1?
whatever it was. Actually, there was a lot of different robots at CES, like humanoid-looking robots at CES 2026. So who knows? Maybe the next thing of 2026 will be humanoid robots instead of AI. But I don't know if that's better than AI. So yeah. And then LG also has a bunch of new TVs. So what do you know about that, Sterling?
Yeah, the new TVs, they have their new competitor to the, Samsung Frame, which is a TV that you put on your wall as a matte display, and it kinda looks like artwork when it's turned off. Yes and no. You have to buy a bezel for, like, the Samsung one to make it look like art, because otherwise it's just still a black rectangle on your wall. I mean, it looks less like a TV than normal TVs do. But anyway, they have their version, which is 9 millimeters thick, which is actually really impressive. It's 4K OLED, which the Samsung one, I believe, also is, and it has a wireless connect box, where the Samsung has a one connect box where you have to run one singular cable. Um, but at the same time, it cannot be wireless completely because it has to get power somehow, unless it's battery operated, and I highly doubt it is battery operated.
Yeah, that
And it comes with oh,
yeah, if it was battery operated, that would be very unpractical in my opinion.
yeah, it apparently comes with a bunch of AI features, so whoop-de-doo, they're not gonna be useful whatsoever.
Yeah. So, I mean, cool. It's a new TV. I feel like we got a lot of new TVs, and that's one of my favorite things, which we'll talk about at the end. But I mean, it looks pretty cool. It does have the wireless connect box, which I'm just gonna say, I've never had TV with one, but from what I've heard, they're not that good, especially when it comes to latency and like gaming. I don't I I just don't see it being a good experience when it comes to that unless you have incredible Wi-Fi. Although, does it run on its own Wi-Fi?
Oh, which one? The Samsung or the LG one?
S I I'm not I think I'm not sure, honestly.
The Samsung one has just one cable to do data and power. So for the Samsung one, it's fine. But for the LG one, it says it's wireless. So that means it's communicating with the box without a cable, which is going to be latency. You're going to have compression. And yeah, it's going to have to like beam Wi Fi. And most likely it's going to have a direct device to device Wi Fi connection. But still, it's not going to be great.
Yeah. And then we also got a micro RGB AI TV or whatever they have to put AI in everything. Anyways, it has 75-inch, 86-inch, and 100-inch TVs, micro RGB. It has and the AI junk. It has that too. Which micro RGB is like the latest TV technology, and it's basically where the individual LEDs are actually different colors, so like red, blue, green, instead of having a layer above it. And these TVs are like really color accurate. Like they have very color accurate. So it's nice to see a lot of brands overall making these TVs 100-inch. That wouldn't fit in my house. It probably costs a lot of money, 4K. So yeah.
Okay. They also had holographic like displays where for your windshield, where it displays information anonymously. Driving cars can use AI to create alpha environments. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so basically what it does is it takes AI and it recreates the environment in some weird, wacky way using AI. And I'm like, first of all, this is a concept, but like that would be horrible. Like it takes a little bit of time for AI to generate the things, you know? And like
Mhm.
why?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to use that. I mean, it is a concept, so they're not actually releasing it, thankfully. But they also showed us more transparent displays, like transparent refrigerators, which with like the screen goes in through the device itself. Their transparent displays are pretty impressive. They're completely impractical if you want to watch anything because black becomes clear. So whoever is behind your transparent TV, transparent device, you're going to see right through. So it's completely impractical for any day use.
Yeah, so that was basically all of the LG stuff. In my opinion, the most ridiculous thing was that robot that was the no labor thing. So, moving on, we have some new Hisense products. I personally really like Hisense. They're not the top of the line, but they make like good for the price TVs. So we got a 116-inch micro RGB LED TV, and apparently what's new over the last one is they added like a new color diode to the RGB called like cyan, or as they officially call it, sky blue, which is just supposed to make the color range of micro RGB better. I don't know how much better that would be, but it is something, so
Yeah, it does basically every single color like the human eye can perceive, even more so. Well, almost. And then the only problem is, like micro RGB LED TVs, they are in the 10,000s, and this one is $30,000.
I'm like,
I kind of want like three cars instead of one TV. You know?
yeah, I'm like, who is actually going out and has $30,000 laying around to spend on a TV? Yeah, it's a great TV. It's a big micro RGB TV. But this person has to be rich because, first of all, their house has to be big enough for it. And second of all,
Mhm.
they have to have $30,000 laying around for a TV. Not for anything else that's like a necessity, but no, for a TV.
Yeah. I mean, they released some more TVs too. A 163-inch TV, micro LED, apparently has addition of yellow to the micro, don't, and more colors and stuff. And it's going to be over 100,000. Which, in other words, yeah, we're not buying that.
I, I, I'm like, who in the world is buying these things? Yes, it's
And that's
cool.
funny because Hisense is supposed to be the more affordable brand.
Yeah, but basically everything, no, not basically, everything on this list is their not budget stuff. And I just, especially in today's economy, I just don't realistically see someone going out and spending 30,000 or 100,000 plus dollars on a TV. Like, unless you're Elon Musk, which we'll talk about that later. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they also released new projector that goes to 6,000 lumens, which is a lot of brightness. And then that's pretty much it for Hisense. Now for Lenovo, they released some interesting products this time. So for Lenovo, we got a display. So you have your regular laptop, and then you can expand the laptop screen by it rolling out.
So yeah, they showed off 2 of these, I believe, one where it rolls up and one where it rolls wide. I honestly think that's kind of cool. Like, I kinda think that's kinda cooler than the, ZenBook Duo that we talked about earlier because it's more portable. You know, you have your
Mhm.
normal laptop and then it just rolls out. I think that's kinda cool in my opinion. Of
Oh, I
course,
absolutely think it's cool, but it's completely impractical, though.
yeah. I mean, of course, the durability won't be good, but I
Mhm.
mean, if they can get the technology good, it might be something.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even going to come out until like past 2027. So it's just a concept right now, which honestly, I'm excited to see the concept, except for durability problems and price problems.
Yeah, but I mean, if this technology does get down, it would be something really cool to have if they got it durable and cheap, which it will be like
Mm.
2 centuries before that happens. Oh, even if that happens.
Yeah. Then they also released like a AI assistant that helps you across Lenovo devices. In other words, it is another AI product that's not going to be very good, but it can do like one or two things well.
Yeah, it's called Lenovo Cura, and I watched because they had like a little event, and I watched it. It was kind of cringe in my opinion. The voice it used, especially the presenter that presented it, and, uh, I just could s I can see it being another Apple Intelligence where it doesn't work, like, you know.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think it, and it's Lenovo. They are not known for making amazing products. They make fine products, but I don't think Lenovo of all companies can pull this off. Especially because Lenovo, technically, they're part of Motorola-ish, not really. Um, I don't see it really working across all their devices. And what devices?
Yeah, but they didn't even say what devices. I think their new laptops and I think, like, Motorola devices in general. So, honestly, that's was basically it for Lenovo. The coolest thing, I think, was the rollable concept that they saw, but not
Wait,
honestly,
was
not
was
much.
Lenovo the one with the knock laptop where you knock the lid and opens up?
Yes.
That
So
that's also really stupid. You have your laptop on the table, you knock the lid, and it motorizes it up for you.
yeah,
In
so
what
I did
world can you not grab the lid and pull the lid up?
yeah. The fa people are just getting so lazy, and the fact that you need this is stupid innovation. It's like, "We don't have anything to show off at CES this year. Let's just make this stupid product and shove it in the press's face." That's basically what they did.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the stupidest product they had there. But moving on to Samsung now, they have their new 130-inch micro RGB TV. So the really good color accuracy TV with light emitting diodes instead of just white light. It does blue, red, and green, all that. And it is 4K and it's going to be about $40,000, maybe even more.
Yeah, so it does look really cool. It's huge. I think that this micro RGB TV technology is really cool, and it probably will be the next standard, but the thing is at its current price range, it's going to be years before it becomes standard where people can actually afford it. But yeah, it looks cool. It has the BT 2020 color range, which is like 80% of all color visible to the human eye, and it's 4K. One thing I'm wondering about micro RGB is will this kind of help with color banding, which is where you'll see these like bands because it's trying to display the color, but it doesn't have enough color.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's actually not a problem with micro RGB, the display itself. But the processing and the compression still has problem with banding, but the display itself won't have banding. Well, as long as the processing and the compression doesn't have it.
Yeah, so overall, I'm really I would be excited once this comes mainstream and it's something we can actually afford. We don't have $8 million laying around for all these micro RGB TVs. We also got a new AI jet robot vacuum or something.
I'm gonna be honest, the Samsung vacuums aren't as good as, like, other companies' robots where they have, like, LiDAR on the top and they can scan your room. Samsung's just uses cameras to detect stuff. It doesn't have any mopping heads or anything. Their robot vacuum is pretty bare bones compared to other companies, so it's not that interesting.
Yeah, um, and then this is not something new. In fact, we talked about this, and it was like the last podcast episode. They showed off the trifold, which if you want to hear our opinions on that, you can go watch the other episode. It's cool, but it's not technically new. They didn't announce when it will be coming out in the US, though, from what I know.
No, they didn't. Even though they showed it off in the US now, they didn't announce it yet, which is strange.
Yeah, and I mean, I wonder why. Like, why aren't they announcing? Why aren't they putting it in the US?
Do
Is
you
it
think they're gonna release it the same time as the S26 series?
that might be something. They might do
But
that.
it's running an older chip than the S26 series will be.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? Maybe the US version will have the latest Snapdragon in it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could.
But yeah. And then we also got transparent displays. What do you know about that?
They're the same as LG's transparent displays, kind of. They're impractical for, like, everyday use because if you're watching a movie and the scene goes black, you're just gonna see whatever is behind your TV because there is no black on a transparent TV. Black is clear. So, if I'm watching a movie and then it goes black or there's, like, a black background, I'll just see my wall behind it, which is completely impractical in my opinion. But there's also something, an AI product that might possibly be actually useful. It is an AI movie TV thing where you ask an AI to do something in your TV for it. You can ask it to adjust color, adjust volume, but also adjust what audio comes out of your TV. Like if you're watching a sports event, is the example they gave. There's the commentators, there's this cheering of the crowd, and there's a soccer game. You can say, hey, turn off the commentators, and then it'll just be the cheering in the crowd. Or you can say, hey, turn off the crowd, or it'll be just the commentators. That actually might be useful.
Yeah, so that was one thing they were pushing. I don't know if it will be useful. If it works, it would be really cool. Cause like they were also showing off, like you can ask it to jump to a certain part in the movie, or pull up a certain movie, or give recommendations. And of course, what you were talking about, which that does sound really cool in theory. But the question is how well will it work in real
Mhm.
life usage? Because is this on device? Because TVs don't have the best processors, and even non, like, big AI TV smart TVs are kinda slow, honestly. So,
They are.
I don't know if this would be a smooth experience. Of course, I've never used a Samsung TV, so I don't know how fast they are, but they could pull it off, and it could be really cool, or it could just be a feature no one ever uses.
Mhm.
Especially if it's complicated, for certain people who won't get it and just want a TV.
Yeah. Their more expensive TVs are actually pretty good. They're pretty fast. Their cheap TVs are absolute garbage. They run so slowly, and I can't move the cursor without it lagging. Yeah. But they also released more things that aren't AI related, thankfully for once. We got the Galaxy Book 6 series, which has the Intel Core Ultra 3 series processor. So the Ultra 3 is their newest addition of processors with NVIDIA RTX graphics. With OLED or AMOLED displays with high refresh rates up to 144 hertz, I think it was, or was it only 120? Either one of those. With AI
It was
capable
only
NPUs. Okay.
120.
Sorry, what was that?
It was only 120.
Okay. Actually, that's not. Okay. That's decent, I guess. There's AI-capable dedicated NPUs, which thankfully they didn't go on and on and on about that. And then there's improved audio and battery. haptic trackpad, oh, this is sounding similar. And it looks like looks like a MacBook because they got rid of the numpad on the side, put the keyboard in the center, put speakers on the side of the keyboard, and gave it a haptic trackpad that's basically the same size as a MacBook.
Yeah, and okay, so one thing that just makes it look so much like a MacBook, at the edge of a MacBook, there's this little groove for opening the lid. It's exactly the same on the new Galaxy Book. Now, if you look at it from the side, it doesn't look exactly similar, but you can kind of tell their intentions, especially looking at the front. Overall, it looks decent. I was looking up and I've heard that the previous ones had a lot of complaints about the non-haptic trackpad and
Mm,
it was like the keyboard wasn't good, so I don't know if they finally fixed that. I don't know if this haptic trackpad will be as good as like the Magic trackpads from Apple, but it'll probably be a really good trackpad. But it looks like a MacBook, which I kind of feel like lately Samsung has been taking a few cues from Apple.
yeah, they're
So
they're just trying their hardest to get the Mac people away from it and just trying to like take them away because they they they're not going to have a market unless they take away some of Apple's market. So if they can't beat them, they have to be them, which is the approach they're taking. They're kind of copying a lot of Apple's things, especially like the MacBook. That's Yes, the MacBook's a great computer. So Samsung's like, hey, that great computer that everyone loves, let's make a carbon copy one, but with a more powerful processor and a better GPU. But it comes with less battery life, of course, because it's not an ARM chip, it's an Intel chip, even though it's still about 20 or more hours of battery life.
yeah, and speaking on the chip, which I'll talk more about this once we get there, which is up next. I did actually look it up, and like the Core Ultra 3, which is the base model, versus the M5. The M5 is faster in single core performance and more energy efficient, but from what I know, the GPU is faster. And I'll talk about this more once we get there, but that kind of was a trend with all the different chips comparative. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you go up from the Core Ultra 3 to Core Ultra 5 or 9, those chips are about the M5 performance. But unlike M series chips, they have dedicated graphics processing units. In other words, there's absolutely no way for integrated graphics to be as strong as dedicated graphics. Well, as long as you get the RTX versions or the graphic card versions, because there are integrated graphic versions too, which will absolutely not beat the M whatsoever.
Yeah. And speaking of these new Intel chips, next up we're going to talk about is what Intel talked about at CES. And they unveiled their new Intel Core Ultra Series 3 processors, which run on, I think it was the Panther Lake diode or something
Panther
like
Lake, yeah.
that. And I'll let you kind of talk about this at first. So, what do you know about it?
Okay, so the Panther Lake chip structure is much different than their original chip structure. The heat distribution layer used to be like on top of the dies or something like that, and they moved it to the bottom and have the heat now going through the transistors itself. It'll create a lot less heat, so it can turbo faster and longer. It is a more modular design. So in other words, there are chiplets on the die itself. There's a chip there for the high performance cores, low performance cores, the GPU processing, the AI processing, all of that are chiplets and they can be constructed together just like the Apple, was it M1 Max, where there's like two chips put together. They can do that with the Panther Lake ones with just mini chiplet designs. And it's actually pretty impressive because it's about 50% faster in 50% lower power use, about 50% faster in integrated graphics, and a lot more power efficient, like 50% less power. That's about 25% power overall in the whole device, power improvement.
Yeah. So, overall, it looks really promising. But like I was saying earlier, so like the Core Ultra 3 versus M5, the M5s, and like you're saying, they're a lot more efficient, but they're still not as efficient as like
No, they're
a
not.
ARM chip, which is kind of to be expected. But I feel like that's what Intel is kind of trying to do in some ways. So but the Ultra 5 versus the M4 Pro, I may have not compared this correctly, but the M4 Pro is faster and more efficient, and and it's the same thing all the way up to the X9 versus the M4 Max. Now, if I do the X9 versus just the M4 chip, the X9 would be faster, which would be expected because the M4 Max is the fastest, and if we do Pro, the M4 Pro is slightly off, edges out. So
Mhm.
they sound like pretty good chips, especially if you get the dedicated graphics. But the question remains, will this put Intel back on the map?
I know, because for the last, I don't know, 5 years, they've really shot themselves in the foot every single time. They released basically the same chip every single year for, like, 5 years. It was a small improvement, small. This was actually, like, big redesign of Intel chips, and it shows. They're actually significantly better than the last chips. And to the point where, like, AMD was taking, like, I think it was 12% of their market share, and they're their biggest competitor, and AMD aren't really efficient. They were just much more powerful than Intel's were. And I think this could possibly get Intel back on the map for being a viable product, because even the Snapdragon X Elite right now, or the X Elite 2, is kind of, it's not as it's about the same power, about the same amount of like processing raw power, but significantly more power efficient on the Snapdragon side. So if it actually like performs more, let's say it has better overall sustained performance, I think this could put them back on the map. But if it's the same as Snapdragon X2 Elite, I don't think this is going to do enough for them.
Yeah, and but I do think it will just kind of take time for these computers to come out and see, you know, that. And kind of yeah, I don't know if it will put them back on the map. It might, but I kind of doubt it. I don't know. Like I said, so I was kind of looking at, is the M3 Ultra faster in GPU than the Core Ultra 9 or Core X9 or whatever?
Mhm.
I think of course it's faster, generally faster. I'm not sure about GPU. I think it might
Okay.
be.
I don't know, because the how Apple processes graphics and how like Windows processes graphics is completely different, and you can't really compare them side by side. So it would be really hard to tell.
Yeah, well, I googled it and it says that they're about the same when it comes to graphics performance. So the Intel Core X9 2026 versus the M3 Ultra, which the M3 isn't the latest gen, but they don't have an M4 or 5 Ultra chip yet. So, yeah, but overall, I mean, it seems pretty good. I just don't know if it will be big enough, especially with other things right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also some weird products that Honor showed off. Honor is a Chinese like phone brand. They make a bunch of other stuff too. But they released a phone with a built-in external gimbal camera. So you've seen those little handheld cameras with a little camera on top that moves with when you move. It's built into the back of your phone. I don't see use for it, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were going for the, like, stabilization and can track you. First of all, it looks ugly, in my opinion, just having this weird robotic thing coming out of your phone. The phone's probably pretty thick, and it's probably not durable. I don't know if they can even make it water resistant. But here's the deal. The actual phone probably won't be that good because they focused on that. Like, it's probably gonna be a mediocre phone, and then you'll have that camera thing. And the thing is there only one camera, or is there more than one camera on it?
I do believe there is one gimbal camera and one inner camera.
Yeah, that but then you don't have your telephone. It's just I don't see it's stupid in my opinion. If you want a gimbal little camera like that, just get something like a DJI Mini 3 or whatever it was. I forgot the name of it. Of course, who knows? It might be banned by then with what's been happening lately. But
Okay,
yeah.
no, I correct myself. There is a telephoto camera and then the gimbal camera and then the inner camera.
Okay, but then again, you don't have an ultra wide, which I guess that kind of depends on people because some people don't really use ultra wide, some people use it a lot, some people don't really care. So yeah.
Mhm. And then we're going to talk about another phone, which is made by a guy named Mr. Mobile. He's a YouTuber that reviews smartphones and such. He last year or 2 years ago, he made a iPhone case that has a keyboard on the bottom. No one liked it because it made your phone like 2 feet tall because it was a keyboard sticking out of the bottom of your phone. So he decided to make a phone with a keyboard built in, but still be a regular size of a phone running Android, but it looks a lot like a BlackBerry. It has the same like style keys, well, not style keys, but same like key layout. The fingerprint sensor is in the spacebar, just like a BlackBerry was. It has touch sensitive keyboard, so you can scroll using the keyboard on the device. You can scroll up and down on your screen. The screen is like a square itself, and they're probably going to price it around $500.
Yeah, so they had a little unveiling and I watched it. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this is gonna catch on because number one, in the thing they said this is meant to be a secondary phone. It's mainly focused on communication. And I just don't get the point of it. It's like the Rabbit R1 or the AI Humane Pen or whatever it was called. These things that are your phone companion, I think is I think personally so stupid, and it's just not practical. You spend that extra money, and you're probably gonna end up using your phone more, and then it's probably gonna end up sitting in a drawer. Uh, I don't see the point in it. And they also announced a new keyboard attachment that's like MagSafe. Okay. I also don't get the point of that because I don't mind not having the feel of a mechanical keyboard because the thing is the actual keyboard is basically the same size of the virtual keyboard on your phone. So, now this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, I just don't see why.
Yeah, I mean, even digital keyboard is much faster on your phone because you can glide type, you add punctuation, all of that very quickly. With a mechanical keyboard, you have to physically press each key in, and there's less autocorrect. So if you mistake a key press, it's not as efficient. And the screen is a square practically. What app is going to fit a square? What app is going to open up and display properly on that screen? I mean, it's not supposed to be like a smartphone replacement, but still, if you want your device to work very well, you're going to have to at least have the apps be able to fit properly on your device, especially because it's running Android, and Android is a rectangle operating system, not a square.
Yeah, and because I guess the whole point of it is not to really have, your normal apps. I think it does, from what I know, support certain Android apps that aren't just communication. But, I personally don't see the money of spending a lot of money on a phone and then spending a good bit of money on another phone because that would also mean you would have to have 2 SIM cards, so you'd have to pay for another line unless you don't have a SIM card in your other phone, but then you can't use cellular data. So, I just really don't see the vision behind it, especially
Yeah,
since they literally said it's a companion phone.
yeah, and especially because they're supposed to be releasing this pretty soon. But the thing is, the device they showed us on stage did not work. The device they showed us on stage was a demo unit that wasn't functional. The screen wasn't a real screen. That was just like a paper insert they put on the screen. I'm sorry. They literally showed us a product that they're going to be releasing, and the product that they're showing us doesn't even function yet. I
Yeah.
don't I don't I do not see the vision for this product at all. I mean, if it's nostalgia for Blackberries, maybe. But at the same time, it's there's so many problems with it, like impractical things, and it's not even functional right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like, but I just don't I to see a person be like, I miss my BlackBerry so much. Let me go spend $500 on a secondary phone that looks like a BlackBerry, but I have to keep my normal phone because it doesn't do all the things I need it to, and I'm gonna have to get a secondary cellular line now, so I'm gonna have to pay even more money. I just don't that doesn't sound like a real person, you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. What but apparently moving on, there's some random Chinese tablet maker, I don't remember the name. They made the world's thinnest tablet. Good for you. You made a piece of paper that can break.
Yeah, I don't even know what it looks like 'cause I mean, I didn't know the name of it, but okay. Okay.
Yeah, then I don't remember the name of it either, but it was the world's thinnest tablet. It was like, was it 3 or 4 millimeters? It was really impressive. But the thing is, even the demo unit they were showing was already like bending from being used on the show floor.
Yeah, and in my opinion, like, just I mean, like, the iPad Pro is very thin, it's 5.1, the 13-inch,
Mm,
but I'm against the whole make everything thin thing. Like, I don't like the idea of the iPhone Air, I don't like the idea of this S25 Edge. I don't want my phone to be thinner. I just want my phone to be better. I don't care if it's a brick. I mean, come on now.
yeah. Oh, also, we missed something, but Samsung released the world's brightest TV at 4,500 nits full screen.
So, yeah, that's really, really bright, although comparing it to, modern day phones, I mean, I don't think there's a modern day phone that can get that bright yet, but they're getting pretty close. We have like 3,000 plus nits now. So, cool, I guess, really good for HDR. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
But the thing is, like with a phone screen, they could get up to like 3,000 nits in a small window. They can't have the whole entire screen 3,000 nits. This is like 4,500 nits full screen, which is a lot more surface area. So it can be overall so much brighter because if you take 1,000 lumen flashlight and shine at someone, it's going to be bright. But if you take 100,000 lumen flashlights and shine at someone, it's going to be extremely way brighter. And with the TV, it's going to be much brighter than a perceived phone. Means there's just so much more light that can come out, even if it's the same brightness.
Yeah, so I actually didn't know that about phones that can get that bright, but so yeah, that does actually sound pretty cool. I don't know if it's something we needed. I guess if you're in a really bright environment. Uh, yeah. And there's actually a few more Samsung things that we did talk about with this new audio and visual AI system. Frankly, I have no idea what that is. So, what do you know about Sterling?
The audio visual AI system is the same thing we talked about earlier with the TVs, the audio TV, where you can say, hey, mute the commentator, mute the crowd. It's the same product.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Our notes were a bit confusing. And then there was also a new audio thing apparently beyond that. Do you know what that was?
Yeah, they're the Samsung in-home, like home speakers. Samsung has never made their own like home speaker, and they look like an they look like a millstone. It's weird. They're like a hump. They're a hump with a front end, and then there's a hole in the middle and a disc around it. They look strange.
Yeah, so I did actually, now that you describe it, I did actually see this, and boy, do they look weird. Because it's like supposedly it's supposed to fit in with the home and make your audio experience more than just audio. And I'm like, okay, that's stupid. Like, I just want it, and it looks so weird. I want a good looking speaker that sounds good, but not a weird looking speaker. That
And the
also
thing
begs the
is,
question.
look at the speaker itself and tell me how is that going to sound good? The audio comes out of a hole the size of my thumb. That is not. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to sound good because there's no way for the audio to get out.
Yeah, that was what I was just gonna ask. How is this gonna sound good? Because, like, and it's like, is this a smart speaker? Or is this just like a.
It is. It doesn't have a voice assistant, but you like cast it from your phone. So it is slightly smart to where it can cast from your phone, or if you like bring your phone close to it, it'll automatically play what's playing on your phone. but it doesn't, like, have a assistant built in or anything.
Yeah, so overall, it looks weird and it probably is gonna sound horrible. So I don't think it's that good of a product. So yeah.
So, next thing we're gonna talk about is some bad news, where is there's reports that Acer, ASUS, MSI, and a couple other companies who make laptops are saying that they're going to all increase their laptop costs by 20 to 25% because of increasing RAM prices for the production.
Yeah, so this is just another outcome of the really bad RAM crisis that we are in. We have talked about this multiple times on the podcast now, but we are
Mhm.
seeing the fruits of this RAM crisis now with increased prices. And I sadly think that this is just going to be a thing for the next few years, especially with our economy. So,
Yeah. RAM used to be the cheapest thing on your computer. Now it's going to be one of the most expensive things on your computer.
yeah, overall, this is just horrible. I, d- like I said before, I don't want AI to be the thing of 2026. I want cheaper RAM prices. That's my new goal, but it won't
Yeah.
happen.
Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But with some more interesting news, Wi-Fi 8 is already announced, which I guarantee you, a lot of people are still using Wi-Fi 5. And there's been Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, and Wi-Fi 7. I highly doubt anyone's using Wi-Fi 7, let alone Wi-Fi 6 or 6E.
Okay, so when I saw this, I was like, what in the world? They just came out with Wi-Fi 7, literally like not too long ago, and barely any devices support Wi-Fi 7 currently. I mean, the new iPhones support Wi-Fi 7, but like other than that, and I'm sure maybe like the new Samsungs do or something. But like and I think it's only one router that supports this too. Because the thing is don't the carrier doesn't your Wi-Fi carrier have to support Wi-Fi 8 then?
Um, like your internet provider, they do not. It's just basically the router that you use. Most people use their internet provider's router. They like with AT&T, they give you a router to use. You don't have to use the router. You can get your own router in addition, but usually people just use the one that comes with their device. AT&T just switched to Wi-Fi 6. By the way, AT&T, the biggest internet provider in America right now, they just switched to Wi-Fi 6, not 6E, not 7, and they're already announcing 8, which, and for improvements with Wi-Fi 8, it is going to be more stable than all previous Wi-Fi standards. It uses Wi-Fi 2.5, Wi-Fi 5, and Wi-Fi 6 bands of gigahertz, and it uses all of them to make a super secure and stable connection. Okay,
Yeah. Now, we have Spectrum, and we recently got Spectrum, and they actually gave us a Wi-Fi 7 router. The
oh,
only
they did.
problem is we do not have anything that supports Wi-Fi 7. My phone only supports Wi-Fi 6E, which is still very new. So, it's kind of not useful right now. So, I mean, yeah, Wi-Fi 7, and now we have Wi-Fi 8, but I'm just like, I feel like didn't they, like, announce Wi-Fi 7, like, last year?
I do believe it was about a year ago. I'm gonna go check.
Yeah, but either
Announcement.
way,
Wi-Fi 7. Okay, Wi-Fi 7 was announced on January 2024. So 2 years ago.
oh, wow, I didn't know that. But, like, it's just now that a few devices are supporting it, so it's kind of like, why? Just like, why? I don't I mean, I guess it's good that we're getting better Wi-Fi, but it's gonna be probably another, like, 3 years before Wi-Fi 8 is widely adopted at all.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a while. Especially because like the biggest internet providers aren't even supplying us with routers for Wi-Fi 6E, let alone 7. I mean, Spectrum is, that's great, but AT&T, Google, I think Google Fiber is. They're supporting Wi-Fi 7 right now. Um, let's see, who are other internet providers? Um, Yeah, the other internet providers, I don't know if they're supporting it either.
But yeah, overall, Wi-Fi 8 is a little unnecessary, but I guess eventually once it becomes widestream, it would be good. And moving on to something else that is kind of controversial from what I've heard is the Lego Smart Brick. So it's basically a Lego brick that plays sounds for you. So like when you move, like if you had a TIE fighter that had one and you move it, play the noise. And like it lights up and there's like these smart minifigures that get close to it. It looks cool, but it seems a bit gimmicky to me.
Yeah, it's, just a little computer inside, like, a Lego brick, so it can, detect how fast it's going, it can detect where it is in space with other smart bricks. So let's say if you're playing with TIE fighters and they're by each other, they'll be able to detect how far away they are from each other. If you bring minifigures close to it, it'll be able to identify the color of the minifigure or something like that and be able to play audio tracks based on it or something. I think that it's a cool feature. I mean, they got a really small computer in such a small brick, and they don't power, they don't, like, have an internal battery. Instead, they're powered by a battery compartment that wirelessly powers them, which is really cool. But I don't see the point in it. I mean, it's a cool idea, but I don't really see use.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they could have dialogue for the characters or something, but I don't think it doesn't really, I just don't think it adds anything to the experience overall. Like, I just don't, I think Lego is trying to find some way to innovate on Lego bricks, but I mean, what else can you do to them, you know? And I just don't think this necessarily will be a, you know, because also all the prices of the sets are more expensive now too because of this.
Yeah. But moving on, Ring released a new product. It's a couple new products, but the most notable one is the Ring Security Trailer, which is a little trailer box that will drive around your neighborhood, like with security cameras on it.
Yeah.
I'm I don't want I don't want Ring driving around my neighborhood.
Yeah, so from what I've seen, like, it's also can be used at, like, construction sites. So, like, I don't necessarily know if, like, people at Ring will be driving around, like, maybe I don't know. I
It's
think
autonomous.
oh, so I think it's kinda pointless because you can have your own security cameras. Uh, I now if this was used because it looks like it might have, like, a 360 thing at the top. If this was used at a construction site, that might be something, but I think this would be a better use for industrial work, not roaming around your neighborhood.
Yeah, but it's, like, marketed as, like a personal device that you can buy and have it roaming around your neighborhood, which is yeah, no, I can see construction use, absolutely. They already have products like that for construction sites, but this is, like, marketed towards you can have something rolling around your sidewalks in the middle of midnight with, like, lights and a camera on top. I'm sorry, I don't want Ring or, even if it's autonomous, driving around my neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't really see the point to this, especially when we already have security cameras, and I'm sure it's gonna be really expensive. I personally wouldn't be too worried about security unless it was sending videos to Ring. I I don't I have heard some people say Ring isn't the best when it comes to security things, like, as far as your information. Of course, they're a security camera, but, you know.
Yeah. But moving on to our next topic. This is might be slightly controversial, but Elon Musk, is making a 2 nanometer chip plant, I think it was in Arizona, and he says that clean rooms won't be necessary, and you can eat cheeseburgers and smoke in the chip production rooms.
Oh my goodness, this is horrible.
I mean,
Elon,
he's saying that, regular chip plants are making unnecessary precautions to make their chips, and you can just do whatever you want because his rooms are gonna be so much better. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, this is so stupid. Elon Musk is like, he's kind of a crazy guy here. I mean, like, first of all, you need a clean environment to make these complex chips. You don't need the chip manufacturers having greasy hands from their cheeseburgers and smoke droppings or whatever you call it from the cigarette landing in the chip and your phone. Like, why does my phone smell like a smoker? Oh yeah, because Elon Musk made the chip inside of it. This is
Yeah,
it's but it is such an Elon Musk thing to do. I will say that.
yeah, but I mean, going to every other chip manufacturing plant in the world, they're so complicated that even one singular like atom of anything in the chip would make the chip completely unusable. And with your smoking, you're putting a bunch of smoke particles in the room, and those will go on the chips, and they will be put into the chips. And I guarantee you, if there is smoke particles in that chip, the chip will not work because even an atom worth of anything inside of the chip will make the chip not work completely. And for him to say that you can smoke in a room with a bunch of sensitive electronics, absolutely not. Why do you think that every other company that ever made chips has clean rooms where you have to put on vests, you have to put on hats, you have to put on hairnets, you have to go through a vacuum tube where it like blows everything off of your uniform, blows it into like a grate, and then you can go into the room? It's because if there's anything on those chips, those $1,000 wafers, like the wafers that they make chips out of, are tens of thousands of dollars because they're expensive to make. These are super complicated. And even without smoke particles, without cheeseburger droppings, they have I think is a 40% yield rate of usable product and 60% you can't use, or is other way around. And with smoke particles and burger droppings, that'll go down to like 5% usable.
Yeah, this is so stupid. Also, since when was Elon Musk manufacturing chips? Is he making his own new product or is he manufacturing chips for other companies? My thing is like if he's manufacturing chips for other companies, I doubt they would want to use him. Like maybe he's cheaper. I don't know, whatever. All I'm saying is I don't want anything in my devices coming from his plant factory. Of course, I don't think it's actually built yet. I think he's plant. I'm not sure. I'm not honestly sure. But why? Just like why? I mean,
I think that he's producing his like own in-house like Tesla chips for their cars or SpaceX chips. But at the same time, no, even if he's going to sell to other people, no one's going to want to buy subpar chips, and I guarantee you, it's going to be subpar. I mean, think about it. His company has never had experience manufacturing their own chips. Maybe they have the design schematics for TSMC's chips, but still, they have no experience whatsoever of building their own chips, let alone having all of these additional problems with it not being clean in there. I don't think that it is going to go very well, or if at all.
yeah, and like you were saying, well, like I was saying, no one would want to be with him. I just don't see the point in this. And the thing is if he is making chips for Teslas and SpaceX rockets, those things can have safety impacts on a human life. Your Tesla is gonna be driving off cliffs if you put a chip like that in it or in a rocket like that. Like, I think the employees can live without smoking and having cheeseburgers and who knows what else they will be doing in between breaks. Like, no, this is horrible.
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually serious. Maybe he's completely joking about it, but from the sounds of it, he was not joking about this, and he was serious. Where they have a new silicon wafer production way to make grease not affect chips or something like that. I don't know what I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. But anyway, let's go over what our favorite product of CES was.
So I guess I'll start. My pro I guess I don't have a number 1 product. I have, like, s well, I te anyways, my number 1 thing is not a singular thing, but it's basically the new TVs we saw. I thought they were really cool. They're expensive. I won't be buying them. Barely anybody will be buying them, but I am excited for this tech to evolve. The new Samsung TV and some of the new LG TVs and other things like that, they look pretty cool to me. So I think with a little bit of standardization over probably the next like 10 years, it's going to take a very long time for these to become affordable enough for anyone to buy it. And another product was, I mean, I'm not like necessarily into robot vacuums, but one new thing was a robot that can climb stairs and vacuum the stairs at the same time, which kind of looked cool. Uh, I mean, I also kind of those are my two main things, but I guess the TV stuff would be my favorite things. I also sometimes just it's kind of funny to me seeing some of the little random things from different companies that you see because there are a lot of small companies that do actually sometimes make a lot of innovative things that they show off at CES.
Okay, I have three things I'm going to share. Also, one of the things are have we did not discuss at all this time, but I'll get to that in a second. First of all, the TVs, absolutely. Micro RGB is going to be the next big thing. I can tell because right now with LEDs, they shine white light and then they get through like a white filter, a blue filter, red filter, and the green filter, and then the color comes out. Well, with this, they emit their own color. They don't need color filters or anything like that, which is super cool. That means they're super bright and super color accurate. Especially with the Samsung one, which their 130-inch one, completely unreasonable price and completely too big. But it comes in this fancy like easel thing, which is it looks pretty cool. And then there's the Galaxy Book 6, which there I'm just excited to see Samsung like have a new computer that is finally up to date and finally like having a haptic trackpad, good speakers, but then at the same time it looks like a MacBook and it's going to be clowned on being a MacBook copy. Absolutely. But at the same time, I still think it's going to be a great computer anyway. And then there is the Afeela car or the Sony Afeela car. Do you know about this?
I actually think I heard something about it, but beyond knowing that it exists, that's basically all I know.
Okay, so last CES they announced a partnership like Sony and Honda. They decided to make a car together, and it's called the Afeela car. It's actually pretty cool. It's a like it or hate it, it is an electric car, unfortunately. So it has about 300 miles of range, and it starts at $90,000, which is a lot of money. But it looks really cool, and it's supposed to be a really good car with like a bunch of sensors. You can play your PS5 games in it, all of that.
Yeah, so I don't know much about it, but it does look really cool. Like playing PS5 games in it, the design looks pretty cool. I don't know necessarily like what's the advantages over something like a Tesla or something, but it does look really cool. It's really expensive, but then again, all cars are really expensive. And yeah, it's electric car. I personally don't necessarily mind electric cars, like they're not my favorite thing, but I don't hate it as much as a lot of people I know do. But yeah.
Yeah, so those are my top three favorite things, even though there weren't many good things to pick from, to be honest.
Yeah. So that begs the question, what rating would you give CES out of 10 this year?
Ooh, all the products are AI based. AI this, AI that, AI this. Oh, this can do AI. That's not AI. A bed that can tell how hot you are and then raises the temperature or cools the temperature is not AI. It's not figuring out some complex equation to answer in human speech. It's just a program saying, is it cold? Yes. Make it warmer. Is it hot? Yes. Make it colder. That's not AI. Well, ignoring all the AI is what we talked about today, basically. All the new products. And the products are just basically new iterations of existing products. Like there is the new Galaxy Book, the new TVs, the new Lego brick, the new Ring cameras. Those are just existing products, just a newer version of it. So I would say out of 10, I would say it's a 4 this year. What do you think?
Yeah, so honestly, that's kind of where my rating sits too. I'd probably give it a 4 or 5 out of 10. I just like you were saying, a lot of the products were just new iterations of products we've already seen, and there was very little actually new groundbreaking things I feel like we saw out of CES 2026. And as I was watching different coverage, it just didn't, I guess, feel the same as in the previous years. Like it definitely felt like lacking, honestly. And I kind of think that is kind of why, because a lot of the products were new iterations. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that these new iterations are bad. Most of them are really good, like these new TVs, but like it just, no, there wasn't much completely new things that we hadn't seen before, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple new things, but they weren't really impressive things. And everyone's just focused on AI so much to the point where we actually like, a bunch of people praised Dell for not adding AI to their marketing, and they said, quote, "We found out that our customers aren't really buying a computer based on AI." Thank you. I don't know the last time I went out to the store to buy a computer because of its super AI features. No, I didn't. I consumers don't really care about AI. Dell said it out loud, and basically the whole entire CES was about AI.
Yeah, and kind of like what we discussed last episode, AI, frankly, in most cases, hasn't really done anything groundbreaking yet. Is there a few AI things that I use that are really nice? Yeah, like, but nothing groundbreaking. And it's just so tiring hearing AI, AI, AI when most of the times it's not AI or it doesn't work. And like, it's just, I just, I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Well, maybe next year's CES will be better. Oh, by the way, it's Consumer Electronics Show, and half of the things they showed you cannot buy. Like the robots, you can't buy yet. The car, you can't buy yet. A bunch of the AI things you can't buy yet. The TVs, you're not going to buy because they're in 30,000 or more dollars. So, yeah. CES this year was a bunch of really expensive products or AI garbage products.
Yeah, or as Gen Z calls it, AI slop. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
the Microsoft CEO says he doesn't want AI to be called slop. And I've actually
No,
seen a
because it
meme.
hurts the people's feelings. You called his product slaw.
Oh, I know, but I actually saw a meme that now we're calling them Microslop instead of Microsoft. So, but hey, Microslop makes Windows and Windows is AI slop basically. So,
Yeah. If only I could switch away from Windows. I tried Linux. I it was just too empty for me. I couldn't. It was just too empty for me. I couldn't. I was fine using Linux. Everything was in the web browser, and I would have been the same way if I just used Chrome OS at that point.
yeah.
Well, that's all we have for this week's special edition of CES coverage. Thank you guys for listening to the Bite-Sized Brief. See you guys in a couple weeks.